Hello and welcome to JoyNews Desk with me, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up, health experts warn that pressure on new mothers to return to work too soon is putting newborns, especially preterm babies, at continued risk despite child mortality decline.
Places, even in hospitals, there is no space created for safe breastfeeding.
Also coming up, Energy Minister says government won't touch the Springfield struggling oil block unless an independent valuation proves it's worth the gamble. Also coming up this morning, we'll tell you about the Volta Fair and how you can be part of it, and also how stakeholders in the coffee industry are working to ensure coffee contributes greatly to Ghana's economy. We also have business updates coming up. Don't go away. Well, to our first story, health professionals say they are worried about the pressures mothers of newborn babies face, despite deaths involving children under 5 falling from over 67,000 in 2000 to below 33,000 in 2023, and neonatal deaths dropping from over 25,000 to below 18,000. Experts warn that many babies remain at risk because mothers must return to work, establishing adequate breastfeeding. Professor Alexander Menu is director of the Institute of Health Research at UHAS, and he spoke at the JoyNews National Dialogue Series on investment in newborn babies.
Supports everybody to be able to get that. The other thing that I want us to think about, which is a human rights issue, and I'll talk about what breastfeeding is maternity leave in Ghana. We are giving 3 months of maternity leave, but we are expecting mothers to breastfeed for 6 months. And the next one is that if you go to many of our workplaces, even in hospitals, there is no space created for safe breastfeeding. So you can imagine us in a university, and then suddenly you've come to the university and you take out your breast and you start breastfeeding in the class or where? There are no spaces that are created in many places to allow mothers to be able to breastfeed. So all these things are things that we should think about.
Well, let's explore this further, and joining me is the labor consultant, Austin Game. He joins us via Zoom. He'll be coming right shortly, but before that, we take another guest on the show, on the panel, who's also been speaking about the situation.
We have started advocating that as part of government policy, first and foremost, they should spread the neonatal intensive care unit across the country, even to district hospitals. And if they need be, then of course they can refer them to the regional or the teaching hospitals. We are saying this because some of them come from even far away and have to come and stay at a hospital that is not near to where they hail from. And that alone by itself is also a cost to them.
Dr. Mark Nawani is chairman of the Health Committee in Parliament. Well, let's go to the phone lines now and speak to Austin Game. He's Labour consultant. We're grateful for your time, sir, on our desk. Are Ghana's current maternity leave provisions fit for purpose, considering the concerns that health experts are raising? Mr. Gatme, can you hear me? Looks like we do not have Austin Game on the phone lines now with us. Let's try one more time Mr. Game, can you hear me? Well, we'll try and establish contact with Mr. Game on this conversation. But moving on, Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor says government will only back a possible state-led takeover of Springfield's WCTP2 oil block if an independent technical and commercial valuation shows the field is truly worth the investment. Speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today, Mr. Jinapor confirmed Springfield has reached out to government, GNPC and Exploco for support, but stressed that any move must be driven strictly by data, not sentiment. Now, he's also saying that if the assessment proves the block has strong commercial potential, especially after surviving the high-risk exploration phase, government will step in with the needed support. This is JoyNews Desk. We take a short break. We return with more. Welcome back to JoyNews Desk, and right about now, the 7th Volta Trade and Investment Fair is just around the corner, scheduled to take place from November 26 to December 8, 2025 in Ho in the Volta region. The first theme, Volta Rising, Building Global Partnerships for a Thriving 24-Hour Economy, highlights it focus on promoting economic growth and development in the region. And CEO of Volta Fair, Fred Avonyo, joins me in the studio right now for an interesting interview. Fred, you're welcome.
Pleasure.
It's good to have you here. It's been a long time.
Yes.
And for our viewers who don't know, yes, Fred Avonyo used to be with the business team, right?
Yes.
Yes, editor of the business team, and then went away, and now he's doing Volta Fair. And all the money, you're not giving us some to spend. But tell us about the fair. What's it all about?
Right. Thank you very much, Mamiesi. So basically, the fair is to open up the region, let people know the potential of the region. Everybody who has visited the Volta region will tell you that there's a lot there. The region is gifted in terms of tourism, in terms of arable land, in terms of industrial activities and all of that. But people don't know. So the idea is to let people know what is there, the investment opportunities in the region, so they can come, invest, and make very good returns. And also, because of the positioning, we are very close to Togo, Benin, Nigeria, all the way to Cameroon. Actually, it's shorter from there than you even would go maybe from Accra to Kumasi. So we're inviting all investors to come and set up in the Volta region and access all the markets all the way to Cameroon.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the whole essence. And so we're having this fair. It's going to be at an exhibition. We've invited people from all over the country and other countries. We have people coming from Namibia, Kenya, Rwanda, India, Malaysia to participate.
In which formats does it take really at the Volta Fair? Is it like a whole one venue event, or there are different activities that make it?
Okay, so we have the main venue for the trade and exhibition, which is the whole sports stadium, where people will exhibit their wares and services. Then we have seminars that will be running alongside. Some of them will happen on the fairgrounds. Others will happen at separate venues. So for instance, the highlight of the conferences that we have is the Volta Investment Summit, which is happening on the 4th of December, where we are going to showcase the investable projects in the region. This will happen at Volta Serene. Okay, so this will be off the grounds. And we're expecting people to come in their numbers to listen to the story and see where they can put their money in and get very good returns. So that will happen. We have other seminars also lined up. We have Women Entrepreneurs Summit. We have the Young Entrepreneurs Forum, where we will try to guide them, bring people who have gone through the trade and know how to lead them to be successful. We have something on creative arts, because there is a lot of potential in young people in the region. We want to harness those talents. Then we have ICT innovation. This time we are focusing on how you can use AI to predict crop yields. You know, yes. So for those who are into agriculture or would like to learn about agriculture, this is for you. And this is happening on the 1st of December. And it's going to be hybrid. We'll have it at the residency and it will be online. So you can join online and get to know how you can use AI in agriculture.
All right. So, I mean, for some people, when they hear about the Volta region, their minds quickly go to Banku and okra soup and all that. But I understand that this fair is also going to highlight the 24-hour economy. Exactly what, really? And then, well, let's finish with the 24-hour economy, then I can ask about that.
Okay, so very well. So we want to use this fair to showcase how the 24-hour economy will work like, where businesses will work till the next day.
Sure.
So we have designated 7 days of the 13 days that we have the fair, where the fair will run till the next morning. Exhibitors will have the opportunity to sell till the next morning. We're going to keep the night very busy with a lot of exciting programs, very entertaining events. We're going to have musical concerts, fashion shows, beauty. In fact, NAFAC would have a beauty pageant to select the voters' representative for next year's beauty contest. Then we're going to have we'll have a club session on the ground. So we have an old school session, we have a reggae session and all of that coming up. So that will keep the night very busy and active for people to trade till the next morning. And that will happen.
Oh, I see. Interesting there. So how can you share, you know, when you mention the fair, you talk about investors. And when investors are mentioned, it talks about, you know, big time money and all that. How about the small local businesses? Is there anything provided for them?
Definitely. So again, we're not looking at just the big ticket projects, but we are looking at people just probably providing some motorable services. Maybe if you go to one of the biggest and exciting
like
falls,
transportation,
is the
even
water falls, for instance.
And yes, exactly.
Now, water falls from the point where you would have to walk to the fall, for instance, is very long.
Yeah.
People with some disability might be challenged. So people can just provide like the tricycle service.
Right.
That doesn't require so much money. You can provide that service and then carry people from the beginning to the end for those who are, maybe they're challenged, they cannot walk.
Right.
So we have such projects that do not require much money, that young people can get into that space and then invest. And also, there's going to be one exciting thing that we're going to do as part of the investment summit.
Okay.
So we are told that the Volta region accounts for close to 40% of illegal cannabis production in Ghana. Illegal.
40%?
Yes. Now we are transitioning to legal production of industrial hemp, right?
Okay.
So we are going to have a session during the investment summit where we'll have the cannabis chamber and then the commission itself come to explain how you can cultivate cannabis legally. When
legally emphasized.
Exactly. Because the potential is huge in the region.
It is.
And a lot of young people can move away from running away from the police into doing something that is legal. So this is also going to happen on the 4th.
Well, that's quite contentious a bit because, you know, the issue is about not abusing it. And interestingly, the question now often arises is, yes, even if you're cultivating it legally, does it mean some will not pass somewhere, you know, that kind of...
And so that's the essence of this. So you'll be told what the law says, how you're supposed to do that, the entire value chain. And really, it's not just going to be the farmer. Those that will provide the transportation, it's a long and exciting value chain that everybody can plug in. So we're going to have those who understand tell us how we can do all of this legally. And so it's something that we're all looking forward to.
Well, that's a conversation I'm really interested in. But really, earlier you mentioned our neighboring countries, Togo, Benin, and the rest. How are you harnessing those opportunities there, or investors in those countries buying into Volta Fair?
Right, thank you. So the ambassador, that's the Togolese ambassador in Ghana, the High Commissioner now, because they are Commonwealth now, he's a very good friend of the Volta Fair. He's always patronizing our events. So he has sent a message to Togo for exhibitors to come, and they always come anyway. And in fact, this year, the Ghana's ambassador to Togo, Captain Fojo, he's done same. So we are hitting them both ways. We've done same with Benin, we've done that with Nigeria. And of course, Namibia is on board forcefully, and other African countries. So we have our neighbors coming in.
Right.
Yes, and it's going to be good.
So, I mean, earlier you mentioned that there will be, you know, investment, there's going to be a one venue, you know, fair for all those investors and all that. But when you talk of the Volta region, particularly what can people invest in? Tell us, what is there?
So that's a lot. So we'd say that Volta region is a microcosm of Ghana. And interestingly, the person who coined this is Ghana. Reverend Ajatete, very fantastic. He used to work in the region. He's just gone on retirement. Very fantastic gentleman. And he says that anything that you can find in Ghana, you can find in Volta region. And it is true. Because of the length of the region, you know, it's one stretch. So from the coast all the way up.
Coast, yeah.
So we have mountains, we have the forest zones, we have the savannah, we have the ocean, we have everything. Yes. So there's opportunity for aquaculture, there's opportunity for quarry mining, there's opportunity for commercial farming. The hospitality industry is huge, an entire chain. Okay, educational facilities are coming on. Now, UHAS now is one of the sought-after universities in the country because of they have a lot of specialized courses that the traditional universities are not offering. So a lot of people are showing interest in UHAS, and UHAS will also exhibit, by the way. So education, there's opportunity. There's opportunity for people to go into the tour car rental business. That is not developed now. And I think it's one facility that must be present so that the airport can be effective. So when people fly in, they can have very good cars to drive around. So that's also there. Then agro-processing. Because the land is very suitable for all kinds of crops. We do cocoa, we do coffee. In fact, coffee is, there's Kaumoka coffee, which is very good coffee that you should get. It's exported to other African countries, to Europe and America. The coffee is from Lake Lebi, which is in the Volta region. We have cocoa in the Volta region. We have, of course, the onions, the vegetables. If you're worried about the vegetables that you consume in Accra, get it from Keta and Loga Stretch.
Are you sure?
Of course, the organic. It's irrigated with good water.
Okay. Well, interestingly, too, the National Farmers' Day is taking place in Ho. And how's that, you know?
That makes it a double do for us.
Great.
Yes. So incidentally, both are happening at the same venue. So well demarcated. We have the Farmers' Day. Because the Farmers, they also have the exhibition. So they have the well-segmented area for the farmers and then the well-segmented area for the Volta Fair, all happening at the same venue. Of course, the Volta Fair will start before the Farmers Day.
The Farmers Day, yeah.
And then on the Deba Day itself, it's happening together. So if you want to exhibit, you're exhibiting to the whole world, basically. Because the whole world is coming to Ho for the Farmers Day.
I wish the conversation can go on, but we'll have to cut it short. But definitely, it promises to be exciting. I hope to be there too.
You should come. And we're inviting Joy to take a stand. Joy is loved in the Volta region.
Yes, we are.
So come take a stand, do some live broadcasts, and enjoy good air. Take a break from Accra.
I know, right? Accra is very stressful. But what are the sponsors on this show?
Well, okay, so we're very grateful. Joy, of course, has always been with us as our media partner. The Central Bank has supported us. SIC has supported us. Gold Board has supported us. The Venture Capital Fund has supported us. We also have GISAL is also supported us. JIDEC is supported us. We have Victor Electronics, which is in the Volta region. Adonai also in the Volta region. So even companies in the Volta region are also supporting us.
And many others.
And many others.
Thank you so much, Fred Avonya. He's CEO of Volta Fair, and you definitely will have to be there. And that's it for Volta Fair Conversation. Moving on, Executive Director of the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy, Professor Isaac Boadi, has called Finance Minister to 40.5% after assessing government's performance following his presentation of the 2026 budget. Speaking at a news conference in Accra, Professor Boadi expressed concern over government's ambitious jump in revenue projections for 2026. The following report has more.
Professor Isaac Boadi explained that the government achieved only about 70% of its target in 2025, yet has projected a 16% increase for 2026. He highlighted persistent gaps in non-oil tax revenues and said performance below 75% indicates significant under-collection, raising questions about how the additional billions will be sourced.
Total revenue and grants. 2025, the government achieved 70% in terms of revenue mobilization. But this year, The government tells us 265 billion or so. That's about 16% jump. And it's quite worrying, because if you see such a figure, performance below 75% indicate significant under-collection.
Senior research fellow at the think tank, Dr. George Domfe, said Ghana's economy is indeed improving, but stressed that the recovery is driven by the IMF-backed post-COVID program initiated in 2022.
Indeed, after the 2022 economic turmoil, the then Minister of Finance, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, initiated what became known as PCPEG, Post-COVID Program for Economic Growth. And that is what was adopted by IMF. And currently, that is the main fiscal agenda.
Another senior research fellow at the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy, Dr. Frank Bano, explained that the government's lower than expected expenditure was driven by weak revenue, not deliberate fiscal discipline.
If revenue is not performing, and I've already established that fact for you, if your revenue is not performing, because your expenditure would be a function of your revenue. So in a case whereby your revenue is not performing as you expected, the only economic and prudent thing to do is to cut your what? Your expenditure. So it is not really about the fact that the minister and the government loves Ghana so much. That is why they are reducing their expenditure. But it is because their revenue is not performing from their own budget.
The think tank concluded that the overall 40.5% score shows the administration delivered less than half of its planned interventions, with notable gains in tax reforms and arrears cleanup, but major gaps in mining oversight, infrastructure, and environmental policy.
This week is earmarked for the celebration of coffee in Ghana. Today we host a team from Fortune Coffee and the International Trade Center to discuss how Ghana can maximize opportunities in the coffee sector. Joining us is Larry Atipo, and he's National Program Coordinator, International Trade Center. You're welcome, Larry. And good to have you. I see you already have your cup of coffee on my desk.
Fortune Coffee.
Fortune Coffee. I mean, there are several Ghanaians that love coffee. There are also those who don't really love coffee. So if you're first time to coffee, what really will be exciting about it to draw people to enjoy coffee?
Now, coffee is very healthy. I mean, contrary to what you may have heard, the research shows that it is healthy. Of course, like all products consumed in moderation, they have so many health benefits. So I will encourage, I take coffee, I take a number of cups a day, and it does me good. What
kind of health benefits really?
Well, I think
maybe
that,
one or two.
There is evidence that at least is a good antioxidant, you know. So then, of course, it helps improve your blood circulation. It energizes you. Some also claim it gives them calming effect. So it depends on who is drinking.
Well, I'm sure Abla can testify to that. One of our editors in the JoyNews, because she really loves coffee. But this celebration, take us through it. How did Ghana adopt this celebration? Why is it so important?
Well, it's important because, look, we had coffee before in significant quantities in the country. Then the coffee price crash across the globe affected us. And I think because we also had another crop, cocoa, which co-grows with coffee, and it has a very good price at the time, many people shifted to coffee. But some maintained their coffee bushes. Today, Robusta coffee, which is our brand of coffee in the region, has seen significant rises in price. The price is so good, and it's now about 40% of world production. And
would you say coffee is the new cocoa in Ghana?
It can easily be, because we have the opportunity to grow it, even in places where we cannot grow cocoa now. The marginal areas, the Robusta is very strong, climate resistant, and we can produce it there. So this week is to draw attention to the fact that we have another product, we have another cash crop that we are familiar with already, we can develop. And of Because the government also tasked the same Ghana Cocoa Board to help facilitate the development of the coffee industry in the country. And I can also say that there's a strong private sector interest. Before, you didn't have Fortune Coffee, you didn't have Kawamoka, you didn't have Jamestown Coffee. Now they are there. They are tickling the imagination of young people. Is very trendy.
Which brings me to my next question, though. Where do you source the coffee for Fortune Coffee? I mean, Fred just left here telling us that the Volta region has coffee there.
So 10 out of the 16 regions of Ghana can produce and do produce coffee.
Really?
The Volta region, the Eastern region, Bono, Ashanti, Central. So these young ladies and young men are really going down into the communities. And what I like is that they don't just go and buy coffee. They are forging relationships with the communities, assuring them that they will come and buy the coffee, and also contributing to the development of the industry there, and also development of the community. So this relationship, portends well for the future. So we don't just come and harvest your coffee. We are developing a relationship of future development of the communities. And if you look at, as I said, the growth in Robusta coffee, which is our brand of coffee, there are a lot of people external to our country who are also interested.
Right.
The only challenge is the volumes are too small for them to switch their sourcing onto Ghana. So this project that we are doing, funded by the European Union together with the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States, and which the International Trade Center implements, this is putting more coffee trees on the ground in partnership with Ghana Cocoa Board, the seed production division. We've been doing like 1 million trees every year planted on the ground in this community. But we should do more to be able to, present Ghana as a coffee destination. But we are taking those baby steps to plant the coffee, and then to bring in the technology of sustainable production and processing.
And just before I let you go, I know there are different types of coffee, or do we just walk into a coffee farming season or a coffee farm and that's it? You just get the coffee and go. There are different types of coffee that, do different things.
Yeah, there are different types of coffee. Two main, the Robusta and the Arabica. The Arabica is more in the hilly areas, and as you know, we don't have so many hills in our country, so in Ethiopia and other places you have the Arabica, and then you have the Robusta. And of course, as I say, the Robusta by its name is more robust, is more resilient to climate change, and which is why I said in those areas where we cannot grow cocoa because they are too hot now, we can put Robusta there. So you can have Robusta coffee and you can have Arabica coffee. Within these, you also have so many varieties based on the climate, the soil, and what else grows there in those communities.
Thank you so much, Mr. Larry Atipo, and he's with the International Trade Center.
Yeah.
And I'll come by for coffee very soon.
Please do.
Ghana Accra Circuit Court has granted bail to blogger Samuel Amadoto of DKLASSGA.net in the sum of 50,000 Ghana cedis with two sureties after he was charged with allegedly publishing false information intended to damage the reputation of the former board chairman of the National Communications Authority, Oketechi Boache Dankwa Abebio I. Let's get more details from my colleague Fatah Bayaga, who was at court earlier. Fatah, what can you report? Fatah, unmute and speak to us. What can you report from court, Fatah?
Mami.
Go ahead, I can hear you now.
Yes. So this morning, a number of members of the New Media Association have come to the Accra Circuit Court, and they are here because one of their members was arrested. We're told was arrested on Friday at around 3 a.m. By members of the National Signals Bureau. And today he's been arraigned before court. And during the court proceedings, in fact, one of the critical things that the legal team of the blogger spoke about was the fact that this guy, he has a wife and a 3-month-old boy. And the police, in fact, has detained him since Tuesday, something that said that it's affecting the family. And for that reason, they prayed to the court to grant him bail. That was the argument made by the lawyer of the accused. The police also argue that if bail was granted to him, the fear that he might, maybe bolt or that would interfere with their investigation. So for that reason, the court should place him on police custody. But the lawyer, in fact, said that if that happened, it would affect him and his family. So the judge listened to all the arguments and then eventually granted him bail of 50,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties. I have been speaking with the lawyer, and basically why he spoke about the fact that this is a very good news to him because his client, at least today, would get the opportunity to go home and meet his family. But for the Bloggers Association, basically what they are saying is that the manner in which their member was arrested was very, very unacceptable because he was picked up around 3 a.m. and they said that, they claimed that some of these officers even had to scale the wall into his house. That, they said, was really unacceptable.
Right, Bayaga, thank you so much for that update. Well, Energy and Green Transition Minister John Jinapor says government will only back a possible state-led takeover of Springfield's WCTP2 oil block if an independent technical and commercial evaluation shows the field is truly worth the investment. Speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier, Mr. Jinapor confirmed Springfield had reached out to government, GNPC and Exploco for support, but stressed that any move must be driven strictly by data, not sentiment. He also says if the assessment proves the block has strong commercial potential, especially after surviving the high-risk exploration phase, government will step in with the needed support.
We need an independent assessment, a detailed, incontrovertible assessment, and a report that meets best practice. And that is what we are going to do. They've told us the huge potential. Very good. But that is not enough. Let us do a detailed assessment, and then we'll take it from there.
But, when you started the conversation, you talked about the fact that this is commercially viable. So let me just get a clarification from you, because you say this is a viable project. Is that based on your understanding, or that's based on what you've been told by a committee of experts?
That's based on the briefing I get from all the team, from the Petroleum Commission. Because what I get is that it's possible. And viability means that you can do something with it through a tieback.
If that's the briefing, if that's the briefing you get, then is it not a foregone conclusion then that what we're about to do is just to confirm a briefing that you have?
Not at all. Then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. If I were convinced that we should proceed, then we won't ask all these independent assessments. Viability means you can potentially do something with it. It is viable. But then you must go beyond just saying that it is viable.
This is JoyNews Desk. We take a break. We return with business. To JoyNews Desk, and right about now, it's time for business, and the boss lady is here. Michelle, over to you.
Hi, Mamiesi. Now let's get into our business stories. Now, the CIMG president, Michael Abiu, has stressed that Ghana's 24-hour economy will succeed only if sales professionals are adequately equipped to drive continuous revenue generation. He made this remark on the sidelines of the launch of the 2026 National Sales Leaders Conference and Awards in Accra.
National Sales Conference and Awards 2026 is poised to address the critical issues shaping Ghana's sales performance, business growth, and workforce capacity. Over the years, the platform has evolved into a key reference point for policy dialogue, skills development, and national industry standards. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch event in Accra, CIMG President and convener of the Conference and Awards, Michael Abiu, stressed the need to better position sales professionals to drive revenue, especially as government rolls out its 24-hour economy program.
That is the salespeople that must create that must create the interest, and that must sell the product. It's the salespeople that must generate the revenues that would and enhance your capacity to be able to have extended business hours. So just imagine that the bank decides I'm going to do 24 hours and nobody is coming to the bank to transact business during those extended hours. What then happens? So you will need the salespeople to be able to push that agenda. So what we are thinking is this, and what we are saying is this, that in order to be able to build this 24-hour economy, in order to industrialize Ghana and get Ghana to work 24 hours, that you need the salespeople to be at the center of it, driving the market demand, driving the customers into your businesses and into your and buying your products within those extended hours.
The National Treasurer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kabute Caesar, also underscored the importance of recognizing and rewarding sales professionals when they meet or exceed their targets.
Creating this platform for awards, for recognition, widening the scope of the role of the salesperson. And I believe that this platform is going to create that consciousness that, the salespersons or the sales force in our organization need to be given a second look, and the way they are managed, in the way they are resourced, and the way they are motivated to meet their targets and things of that nature.
The National Sales Leaders Conference and Awards 2026, themed Redefining Sales Excellence for Today's Dynamic Market, has been officially launched in Accra and is scheduled to take place from June 17 to 19, 2026.
Now, MasterCard Foundation and MEST Africa have rounded up the second cohort of EdTech Fellowship Program in Ghana. Beneficiary firms were given the opportunity to explore innovative measures to support the country's education and financial inclusion. Programs Manager of MEST Africa, Angela Duho, believes that the initiative has been impactful since it was launched in Ghana. Here is a report.
MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship is an entrepreneurship acceleration program designed to support promising African EdTech companies, implemented in partnership with innovation hubs and EdTech accelerators across Africa. The fellowship provides select EdTech companies with critical business and financial support and insight into the science of learning. The MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Demo Day marks the end of the acceleration phase of the second cohort, which highlighted the impact of the program on the beneficiary firms. Some of them have been speaking with Joy Business on how they have benefited so far.
Craft education is improving learning outcomes for children with learning and behavior challenges like autism and ADHD. We are part of the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Cohort 2. The fellowship has been of immense impact to our organization. It has given us the exposure, the network, and the funding really that we needed to go into the next step of our impact journey. We have had access to experts, we've had access to program managers, and MES has been very instrumental in helping us structure and our processes, give us some more definition to what we're trying to achieve.
Yes, ATB being a startup was scalability. We're looking for ways to penetrate into the market, and what being part of the fellowship has done is to give us the necessary launch pad and to be able to scale beyond our strength.
Programs Manager at MEST Africa, Angela Duho, in a speech applauded the partners of the initiative and assured of more support for entrepreneurs.
The fellows we celebrate today have also been supported with the technical expertise to integrate inclusive and accessibility features into their solutions, reaching over 1,000 learners with varied disabilities across the country. We truly appreciate our partners from the Ghana Federation of Disability and Special Education Department of GES for going on this journey with us. In addition, this fellowship has provided for fellows intensive mentorship, guidance from seasoned experts, strategic business development, and access to a vibrant network of partners and investors. They have refined their products, strengthened their business modules, expanded their user base, and secured meaningful partnerships, both outside and within the cohort.
All 12 EdTech companies use the platform to display their activities as part of the program.
And that's all for business right here. I am Michelle Ejekum. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Macy.
Thank you, Michelle. That's all we have for you on News Desk this week. Enjoy your weekend.